You can rewind, you can use save states, and it still took me 2 hours to beat TMNT for the NES on the Cowabunga Collection. Man, I suck. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection is the compilation game you need. Digital Eclipse, the same company with the SNK Collection, the Street Fighter II Collection, and more, they know how to do compilation collections correctly with so many bonuses and extras. So right when you go to the games, you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this is the arcade game. Turtles in Time, this is the arcade version. You also have Turtles in Time, the Super Nintendo version. TMNT Tournament Fighters for the Super Nintendo. Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis, Tournament Fighters for the Sega Genesis, that TMNT game for the NES, a lot of nostalgic memories playing this game. The 8-bit TMNT 2, the arcade game, the Manhattan Project included, Tournament Fighters for the NES, we have Follow the Foot Clan for the Game Boy, Back from the Sewers, this is the second TMNT game for the Game Boy, as well as TMNT 3, Radical Rescue, this is the Retroidmania style game. And not only that, but you get the same games, but the Japanese version. So if you want to go through to see if there's any differences in the import version, the Japanese version compared to the US version, different box art and all that, you have that ability. Now I don't know of any gameplay differences between the two, but it does give you that option. And it's just kind of fun to go through and see what the box art looks like on the Japanese versions. We'll play a little bit here. Here's the first arcade version. Yeah, you choose who you want to play as. Greeted to the classic title screen. Oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful port. Now I'm playing this on the Switch. I couldn't tell you any differences. I couldn't tell you, side-by-side comparison or anything. Plays great to me. Now the arcade version is slightly different from the NES one if that's all you ever played, so it's definitely worth checking out this version of it. And you can play this online as well. You can do multiplayer couch co-op style, or you can also do multiplayer online, which is great. As of this time, I didn't get a chance to play any of these online. I don't know if the online servers were down or something, because the game's not officially out yet. This is a review code provided to me by Konami, but I tried going online, didn't work for me. Few options at the click of a button, like start and load game. There's also the screen size or the filters if you want to make it look like it's coming through like a TV monitor or like an LCD filter, like a computer monitor or something like that. If that gives you that nostalgic feel that you need for these filters, go for it. And you see strategy guide, I'll show you that here in a moment. Nice on the menu selection screen, it'll also give you the enhancements option. Now some of these enhancements, it's different per game, but it might give you like infinite lives, like a god mode, maybe a thing that you could unlock. You don't need to unlock it, you can just unlock it from here without doing like the, password combination, whatever on the on your deal. Playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think most of us played this game. It was nice that one of the enhancements, and I'm just showing you the kind of the basic gameplay footage. You see the little flickering of your life bar. Slow down, little flickering here and there too. One of the enhancements is you can remove the slowdown. You can remove the flickering. It feels so weird to play this game without the flickering, without the slowdown. It's almost like it's too smooth. I'm not used to it. It's kind of like when you watch a movie for 30 frames your entire life, and then you watch it at 60 frames, and you're like, oh, that's cool, but different and interesting. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of fun that they have that feature, and they have this feature for all the NES games. I love the fact that they include the rewind feature, because the rewind doesn't go as far back as you want. It only goes back, so many seconds, but it's just enough to not get hit again. So, don't be like, oh, I gotta make it all the way to the end, but now you gotta rewind. Nah, it's nothing like that. You might have to use your save states for that. You can save and load wherever you want. Now, earlier we saw that strategy guide feature, and the strategy guide's nice because it'll show you per game different tips. Kind of a Nintendo Power looking strategy guide here, and you can kind of go through and maybe find like where's the secret, what's going on, I need some help defeating this boss. Well, it'll tell you how to defeat the boss, but there's also a watch feature that'll have recorded footage, a tip on how to beat the boss. Very cool. So I can go up there and go from there. It's kind of like when Dracula X Rondo of Blood for the PC Engine Duo had that unlock feature where it's like, hey, here's how to beat the bosses if you pay so much in in-game currency. It's not a huge issue, but they did edit the US version of TMNT 2, the arcade game. They removed all Pizza Hut references from the game. Now, the Japanese version of TMNT 2, the arcade game, did remove the same references. Doesn't change the gameplay, of course, but just letting you know that if you're looking for those Pizza Hut references, you're not going to find them in this game. This game has been touched and edited, at least that much. Another great feature I'm so glad they added is the watch feature. Now, with all of the games on this collection, with all of the games on this collaboration, you can literally just watch them beat the game. You can just watch them, and it's like a no-hit run, from what I understand. At least, I didn't watch all of them, but at least with most of them that I watched. Wherever you want to go, you can just keep on skipping ahead and skipping ahead. It's a great way to see how someone else does it, so you know how to do it next time. Yeah, and remember what I said, it was like a no-hit run? That's right, they actually went through the seaweed without getting hit. Good lord. What's also kind of nice too, because you know, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when we played it back in the day, there was no passwords. There was no save states or anything like that. But maybe you've seen in a magazine, like, oh, I've always wanted to fight that boss, or I've always wanted to get that, you know, I always want to get to the Technodrome. You can skip ahead to the Technodrome and then put the game back in your control. So now I'm controlling the game here, as you can see by the fact that I'm actually getting hit and not doing great. There is a little bit of the graphical interface at the bottom there. You see that little glitch there? I don't know if they're going to fix that by the time the game comes out with a patch or something. I'm not sure. It didn't bother the gameplay though. And once you take control of the game, you cannot just go back and rewatch it and say, okay, take it over from here. No, it doesn't work that way. So you'll have to go back through. But again, you can skip ahead and forward and stuff. Not gonna be a bother for you. I'm still amazed by this Technodrome on this boss on this game. It was amazing for its time for sure. Games aside, again, you can go online and play some of these games. In the Turtles layer, this is your bonus features. And there's so much bonus content in this game that you're just gonna go crazy for. Including high quality scans of all the boxes and manuals. You want to go through and maybe see what the box looks like, see what it looks like in front and back. The Japanese versions too. You can zoom in on these boxes and everything and just really look at them. If you're curious about this kind of stuff, just to see what it looks like or whatever, or maybe a trip in the past, it's like, oh, I used to have the box for this game, I used to look at the back of the box or whatever. Yeah, they have it all on here. You can zoom way in, look around. A pretty cool idea to have. And then even the instruction manuals too. Maybe you just want to go through the instruction manual just for fun, just to see what the instructions look like for these games. Again, you can also zoom in and stuff like that too. So very cool. Maybe they couldn't include it for licensing purposes. I didn't show it in this video, but they do not have the coupon on the back of the TMNT 2, the arcade game Pizza Hut coupon. For the last page of the manual. It's fine though. Other printed material like, magazine adverts and advertising and stuff like that, that's always just kind of fun to see, Other little one-sheets that they'd present to companies and things. Got comic book covers. These are not comic books. You cannot just read the comics on here. That would have been awesome. That probably would have been a cost incurrence. We can at least check out the magazine covers here. Kind of fun to see these. Just see what the comic books look like throughout the years and all that. No, I got very excited when I saw the television. You could like, oh, the TV, and going through like the seasons and everything like that. No, it's just photos. It's just screen caps of the episodes. They're not gonna show you the actual cartoon. That would have been cool. Maybe not enough memory space on these games, but that would have been something. But yeah, at least show you a little bit of screen capture, like, oh, I remember that episode. I remember that episode. Stuff like that. Again, just a fun thing that they included. They didn't need to, but they did, including what the other Ninja Turtles looked like. Back maybe when you stopped watching it, or maybe only saw a couple episodes or whatever. The rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 2018. I actually thought that was a pretty decent cartoon, but. Nothing will ever beat the original. More behind the scenes stuff, which is always fun to see. It's always kind of fun to see what they have for this, little, concept art and other things that they had just laying around. Like, they kept all this. I'm so glad they kept all this. Kind of cool to see, like, what concept art would look like for what became in the game and everything. It's just kind of, just an awesome thing to have. And you can also zoom in and stuff like that too. You're like, oh, here's, what's going on here. That's just what they had, for the game. One of the key features many love is the soundtrack to these games, including things like, the arcade version versus the Super Nintendo version. Maybe you're used to the Super Nintendo version, but never played the arcade version. You can like listen to both and kind of compare them or whatever. It's always just kind of fun to, see what they have in here and maybe just, throw it on in the background or something like that. Put this on while you're folding laundry or something, I don't know. And also the strategy guide. The strategy guide goes through, all of the games. It's always per game when you're playing the game in-game. But if you just want to go through and maybe check out to see what they have for the strategy guides for the other games. Very cool that they added this. I'm so glad they did. It's such a fun idea to have the in-game strategy guide. And again, you can also go through here and say, oh, hey, what's the video on this one? How they included those little videos for you. Especially TMNT Tournament Fighters for the NES. I mean, that's such an expensive game to buy now that it pays for itself by getting it on a game like this, just to see. And if you want to see what other Switch games came out recently, check out this video in the meantime, and I thank you for watching. I'm going to play some more games, and maybe I'll see you online playing some of these games as well. I hope you're already subscribed. If not, click the subscribe button so I can see you again very, very soon with more awesome games coming out in the near future.